So we have a tendency to rope drop the safari, and I'm glad we did because we caught one of the coolest things. Ranger, the little baby rhino, chasing an ostrich. Just come and ride.
It is not necessary to form a single file line. If you are traveling with a stroller, please have children and valuables unloaded before you reach our stroller parking area. If you are traveling with someone...
Let's do it! Oh, so jumbo. Jumbo means hello. So jumbo. Caribou is jumbo. Welcome aboard. Hello. As you board the truck, friends, take a look above your head. You'll see the handy animal spotting guide contains every animal you may see out there on Harambe Day. Won't see them all due to migration synchronized, but no one has some pretty good luck. And now, friends, on your right-hand side, please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs clear as the doors come sliding closed. Based on the white stripes on the legs, you may think the Okapi is related to the zebra. It's actually the only known relative of the giraffe. Take a look at that head. You'll notice it looks very similar to a giraffe. Male Okapi would even have those tiny little horns known as ossicons on top of the head like the giraffe. Since that one does not, we can safely assume she's female. Also, friends, down here in the water, I'm actually seeing a saddle-bill stork, the large black and white bird. It gets its name from that yellow saddle shape on its bill. It normally stands about 5 feet tall and has a wingspan about as wide as the canopy above our heads, or about 9 feet wide. Now, I can actually tell this is the female saddle-bill because she has bright yellow eyes. Males would have dark brown eyes. Now, as we continue along, keep in mind it's a wild animal reserve, not a zoo, which means these animals could be anywhere. We'll have to see if we can find a few more.
Look, there's a rhino in the back.
There's a couple of black rhino. The first one's way back there by the rock wall, but the second one we're going to get a great view of right here on our left. Smaller of the two rhino species we may
see the rhino right here?
They still come in a respectable 3,000 pounds. Unfortunately, that size does lose. Now, friends, what he's doing is actually not going to the bathroom. He's marking his territory. He's saying, hey, this area belongs to me. Other black rhino need to stay away. It's actually the smaller of the two rhino species we may see out here in Harambe, but it still comes in at a respectable 3,000 pounds. Unfortunately, that size does little can swim and are not quite good at it. They actually prefer to walk or run along the bed of the body of water they choose to live in. Also hold their breath for impressive 5 to 8 minutes even while sleeping, as well as voluntarily closing their noses and ears when they go underwater. If you couldn't see those hippos, friends, there's a full bloat of them off to our left in the water.
Over there in the water. See it sticking up? It looks like a back.
Now, some of y'all are wondering about the baby hippo. I believe that's the new mama right there off by herself. And she's been rather protective of her little baby, so it's been kind of hard to see the baby. It's actually been so hard to see that we're not even sure whether or not we have a boy or girl hippo baby yet. Oh, actually, friends, take a look over the island. I can actually see the baby's head there. Also there, friends, were several large gray and white birds known as pink-backed pelicans. They get their name from distinctive pink patches on their backs, mainly just during their mating season. They're also colonial nesters. You may see as many as 500 pelican nests all in the same area. Well, friends, definitely make sure you stay seated here because on our left I'm now seeing several Nile Crocodile. Second largest crocodilians in the world, normally average about 16 to 20 feet, but sometimes as large as 22 feet or as long as...
See the crocodile right there?
Actually, yeah.
Right there in the water?
White stripes towards the back, thin stripes towards their face, and a completely white belly, as well as a little flap of skin underneath their neck known as a dewlap. Of the 3 varieties of zebra in the world today, only the Hartmann's mountain zebra, like the ones we see here, may have this little flap of skin underneath their neck. Now, friends, I am seeing several more animals out there, but we'll get to them as we get to them. Including some springbok, those tiny little antelope, as well as several Masi Giraffe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
Now, as far as the zebra go, friends, and the age-old question of black with white or white, almost like a fingerprint is to you or me.
Go all the way to the
like
top sleeping.
Dogs, or maybe even hyena in appearance, they're actually a completely different animal family from both.
There's one in that
Having
little
only 4
burrow.
toes on each foot, painted dogs also chirp at each other instead of barking. Also on our left here, friends, I'm seeing a few Ankole cattle, the only domesticated animal we may see out here in the reserve. They're also sometimes known as Watusi cattle, after the first African tribe that was able to domesticate them, the Watusi. Those giant horns of theirs may look pretty heavy, but believe it or not, they only weigh about 5 to 10 pounds apiece. This is actually because they have a honeycomb-like structure inside, which allows blood to flow through and helps cool the cattle from the heat of the midday. You can think of it almost like a radiator system for your car's engine or a water cooling system for your car. The area where these giraffe were first discovered. Also, friends, coming up on our left and right, I'm now seeing a couple of springbok. Smallest antelope in the world, standing just barely 2.5 to 3 feet tall at the shoulder. They're still able to jump about 6 to 8 feet straight up in the air or 13 feet forward. They're also one of the fastest antelope in the world, hitting about 55 to 60 miles per hour when they run. Believe it or not, they can actually outpace a cheetah if they get a big enough jump, because while the cheetah is a little bit faster, they are a short distance runner, while the springbok can go for long distances at top speed.
Did you see the giraffe?
Now, friends, off to our left, I'm seeing a few more members of the tower. That's called a group of giraffe, a tower, which of course means a group of giraffe all running around scared would have to be known as a tower of terror. I'm sorry, friends, I forget the bad jokes. Ever since my son was born, I can't stop telling dad jokes no matter how hard I try. Also, friends, up there on the ridge, I'm actually seeing a sable antelope. They were chosen as the symbol for Harambe Wildlife Reserve because when it comes to fight or flight,
They do have black tongues. You're right, baby.
Predators, much as we fight to protect animals from extinction. Those curved back horns of theirs are perfect for sweeping the predator off their back, and are also used in displays of dominance among the herd. I'm also seeing two of our baby giraffe
That was
right here to the
awesome.
left, Maple and Zella. These two little girls were born about 9.5 months ago now, about a week apart. Started up. Now that bigger giraffe there is our largest male, George. After all, these are wild animals, friends. Now we are in their home.
Please be mature, ladies.
They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Now, believe it or not, that massive neck has the same amount of bones, just 7 vertebrae, that we have in our own neck. This is actually why their necks are not so flexible and why they look a little bit awkward while trying to eat or drink from the ground. We can tell Mac is an African elephant because he has much larger ears, shaped almost like the continent of Africa, as well as 2 little fingers on the end of his trunk. His cousin, the Asian elephant, have much smaller ears and only 1 little finger on the trunk. Now, it's no surprise that being with other elephant herds that, hey, there are bees in this area.
Wait until we turn around this corner.
That's a great example of conservation because it used an animal's own natural behaviors to help us live more harmoniously with them. If you'd like to know more and want to look it up later, you can find it as the Elephants and Bees Project, or simply go to elephantsandbees.com.
You see him?
My friends, off to our left, I'm seeing one of our partial female and young herds. Now they are led by the matriarch. In this case, that's big Vasha out there, the one with only 1 tusk. And the matriarch is the largest, eldest, and wisest of the females, and the one who will show them where the best food, water, and shelter will be found. Now, the reason I call this a partial herd is because, unfortunately, when our previous matriarch passed away, there arose 2 female elephants, Vasha and another one, Donna, who both decided they would be the new matriarch. And unfortunately, they don't like each other very much, so they would fight all the time. To stop their fighting, we divide our herd into 2 partial herds. Now, friends, coming up on our left, a full flamboyance of greater flamingo, the largest.
All right, here you go. Here's the little babies.
As we make our way around the island, take a closer look at the island itself, you'll actually see one of the largest hidden Mickeys on property. The palm trees are right in the middle of Mickey's face.
It's the rocks around the
Also, friends, take a look at the flamingos. You'll be able to tell which one of them are younger. It's those gray ones. That's what they look like till about year 1 to 3.
In the center.
They start to gain the
island itself is a hidden Mickey, if you look at it from above.
They love to eat. That brine shrimp contains beta carotene, and that's what colors their legs, bills, and feathers pink. And that's beta carotene from the brine shrimps of the flamingo, not keratin like the rhino one from earlier.
Holy cow, look how cute! Ava, look! Wow.
Now, I'm not sure what these two girls are doing here. Now, Ranger and the rest of this group, also known as a crash of rhino, are southern white rhino. And they are the larger of the two rhino species we may see out here around day.
It's cute like her.
Oh, it looks like Ranger's going after an ostrich.
He's chasing after
There
it.
she goes. She's getting 40 miles per hour. That's how fast an ostrich can run.
Oh, look at him, he's running.
But Ranger's already getting up to 35, friends. Look at that. Look at him running around.
Oh, he's over there. He ran all the way across.
Ranger already thinks he's bigger than he is.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
Now, you may have noticed I keep calling them southern white rhino. That's because their cousin
Ranger is the
actually
little
most endangered
baby boy rhino, and he chased an
Only 2% of
ostrich.
species, both female, left in the world today, and the last male having died in 2018 of old age. The northern white rhino has already sworn very close. There's one back here.
Look, cheetah right there.
Look almost like large domestic cats, don't they? The reason I compare them to the cat you may have left back home is because cheetah are also known to meow and purr. Actually, the largest cats in the world known to do so.
You never almost see them.
A little bit of trivia for you, friends. No cat on Earth can both purr and roar. The purring muscles and the roaring muscles are located in the same place. So this means that cheetah are unable to roar like most big cat cousins. We're in the middle and one way back there on the ridge.
They're like pigs.
Now, it's actually a shame, though, a Sinus warthog is known as Pumbaa, because Pumbaa actually means foolish one in Swahili, and warthog are anything but. As you can see, they roll in mud to act as a natural sunscreen, a natural insect repellent. They'll also sometimes kneel down to get close to their food. When they go into their burrows, they'll go in backwards, so that anyone who tries to follow them in is met with a wall of angry tusks. And when running scared from a predator, they'll actually raise their tails up like a hot rod flag to let other warthogs know there's danger nearby. Sounds like a pretty smart animal to me, not foolish or Pumbaa at all. Off to our right, a Bontebok. Both male and female of this species carry distinctive lyre-shaped horns. And around sun, friends, coming up on our left, I'm seeing a couple of Nigerian dwarf goats. Normally, I'd say it's a bad idea to have domestic animals like these goats and wild animals in the same area, as they end up competing for grass, as often happens with many cattle ranches out in Africa. But in this case, it's actually a pretty good idea. See, the dwarf goat, due to its small size, takes up far less room than other animals would, and is known for going after more weed-like plants first that other animals would leave behind and avoid. This means better grass growth in the area for all animals concerned. The use and sale of their goat's milk also helps reduce reliance on local native wildlife, as well as offering alternative sources of money to poaching. So I guess you could say that just having the goats in the area could mean better grass and less poaching.